So thank you everyone for joining me. My name is Meghan Fahey and I work for Michaels. And today we are going to be doing some really cool faux stained glass. So I'm excited to show you lots of different designs and lots of different patterns that you can use to make very cool stained glass. You can do some traditional things and you can do some really exciting mixed media things too with all the skills that you're learning today. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be using some templates, and all of these templates are available. Plaid is the company who makes the gallery glass that I'm going to be using today. And so they have a website, plaidonline.com/gallery glass, and they have a lot of different templates to pick from. The butterfly that you may have seen on the picture for this glass is available as a template. They also have mermaids, they have florals, they have all different kinds of geometric and different designs like that too. So I really want you to go through and pick out something that you love and something that you're really excited about so that you can create with us today. Now, the surface that we're going to be using, I think, is also very exciting. So last year, when I made this one, this is a surface that Michael's had, this rounded off surface. We have a similar one this year that's in a square form. So this is like an acrylic kind of glass substitute kind of acrylic. And then there's an LED base. So even if you're not able to put your faux stained glass near a window to let light in, you can let light in with that LED light at the bottom. So I think that's a really cool use of this particular base. They also come in different shapes. So I don't know if you can tell, but this one is a flower. And then I also have one that was the shape of a butterfly. So the glass itself was a perfect shape of a butterfly. And then I put that design onto this, and I'll show you how I did that. And then you can put it back into the stand and you can have your very own beautiful butterfly. When I took these out yesterday, when it was actually sunny, it's not sunny today in Dallas, but when I took them out yesterday, you could even see the color come through onto the sidewalk. So these are really cool. And one more I want to show you before we switch to our other camera is this last one is a surface that Michael sells that has some wood, and then it has on the wood is attached to this glass panel. And so then you can use that wood and kind of in between in the spaces where the glass shows through, you can use this gallery glass to kind of create that faux stained glass feeling again. And then I just took all the wood cutouts that are kind of 3D, and I put those wood cutouts using some Posca paint markers to kind of pop some colors in different ways. And then it has a little hanger. So this is something that I can hang up in a window and kind of let some of that light come through also. So lots of ways to play today. Let's go ahead and switch over and talk about what we're going to be using. So in my other camera, you'll see I have my patterns, and then I also have this gallery glass. So the black gallery glass is what is called simulated liquid leading. So if you're into real stained glass is very challenging. So I'm curious to know if anybody watching online with me right now has ever tried real stained glass. It is a skill set. So it is something that will definitely take some practice. Lucky for all of us, this gallery glass paint version of stained glass is for everyone and is very accessible for all of us to do. So this is going to create those classic black lines. And then also in that pack that I suggested you buy, they have 5 other colors that come with that pack. And really with this set of colors, obviously your primaries and a couple of others, you can mix and match. And if you want different shades and different things, if you're making a flower and you want some purples and you want some darker reds or deeper blues or things like that, I can show you how we can mix these colors in order to create more colors to use on our faux stained glass. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to use my square acrylic surface, and I'm going to select one of the patterns, and I'm going to show you how we can kind of do some outlining. Now, if you don't want to use any of these patterns, what I recommend is you taking whatever it is, glass shape, or you can use a picture frame also and just take out the back of the picture frame and use the glass. So whatever glass surface you're going to be using, you can trace that onto a different piece of paper, and then you can kind of play around and decide how you want your design to be if you want to make it super personalized. Or again, if you don't have any of these printouts, another idea that you can use is coloring books. So coloring books are great. You can tell that they're a lot like these. And you can take any coloring book and kind of put your glass surface or your acrylic surface over top of it and just be able to trace those lines. And then you can fill it in just like a coloring book. So that's going to be really fun. I want to show you why I have this butterfly out, how I did this other surface I was telling you about. So this is how it comes, but these glass parts come out. They slip out and then they slide back into this base surface. And the base surface does have an LED strip of lights that kind of can illuminate it. You can't really see it on this video very well, but if I turned off the lights, you'd be able to see it. And then what I did with this was, it's not a perfect match because Michaels makes the butterflies and Gallery Glass made this template, but they are close enough that I really was able to work with this. So I kind of put it on top of here, and you can tell that some of it goes off of the surface, but enough of it fits on that I really like the way it ended up looking. So I just traced those lines. And if you happen to have Instagram, my own personal Instagram is 4M Coleman, and you can kind of see a video of me tracing these lines to make this butterfly in a reel that I have where I show you how I made this butterfly and what it looks like when I take it outside. So once you have those black lines drawn in, then you can take each of these colors. So like I mentioned, we have the colors that came in that pack, but there are a lot more different colors. So if you're not interested in mixing your own purples or your own colors, you can buy separate bottles of specific colors. So that's always going to be an option too. So we are going to be using a square surface together today. And this is the square surface I'm going to be using. I'm going to take it out of its base, and then it'll just slip back into this slot when I'm done. And I'm going to pick out one of my designs. And because we have about an hour together today, I'm not going to go super elaborate, but I think I'm going to use one of these daisies in this daisy pattern. So I don't know if you'll be able to tell since it is glass and it's kind of hard to see on a video, but I'm going to be placing this glass, keeping in mind that the bottom, probably about 1/4 of an inch, is going to go back into the space. So you don't want your design to start right at the bottom of your square. So here's the outline of my square, and I'm really going to try and center this one particular flower. And I'm going to go through with some of this black leading, and I'm going to outline that black flower. So the Gallery Glass bottles, these paints are really nice. They have a very fine tip point to them, and just a little bit of squeezing, not a lot of squeezing, but just a little bit of squeezing is good to get the paint out and running. And just to kind of show you before I go on the actual painting, this is kind of what this lead lining looks like. So I'm squeezing this and kind of pulling this out. And what I want you to kind of try to do, and you might not be able to see it at this angle, but what I'm going to try and do is let the leading kind of drop and drag. So I'm not touching the tip of my paint bottle and dragging it across, because that's going to spread it further than I want and kind of be a little bit messy. But what I'm trying to do is keep the tip a little bit further away from the surface, and I'm letting that leading drop onto, and then I'm just slowly pulling across that straight line. So I'm creating those black lines using this black simulated leading paint. And now I'm ready to go ahead and try and outline my daisy. So let me make sure that I'm still pretty centered. And then I'm going to start with the circle, and I'm not touching the tip to the surface. I'm kind of hovering above it and letting it kind of drag towards it. And I know right now, because I'm going black on top of black, you're not necessarily going to be able to see it, but when I take this paper away, you're definitely going to see what I'm doing right now with this black paint. Now, if you make a mistake, you can quickly fix it, but you need to work quickly and you need to work carefully. I recommend scraping it with your fingernail and then really making sure that you clean off the glass. So if I didn't like what I did right here, I'd need to wipe it away very quickly because it is going to start staining the glass a little bit. And so I can use a little bit of something wet, maybe a little water on a little paper towel, and I can wipe that off and I can start again. Now, once it's been sitting too long, you might want to just wait until it all the way dries. And then you can kind of picture this like puffy paint is going to have that texture that you could use like a small razor blade or something to kind of scrape it away. And then maybe use something damp to wipe over what it might have left behind in order for you to get a nice clean surface again. So I do like to keep toothpicks handy, either a thumbtack, a toothpick, something with a pointy surface. Right now I'm still doing really well, but if I leave these paints out, if I accidentally forget to put my lid back on and there starts to be some drying that happens in that tip, it's going to prevent the paint from coming out smoothly. So you can just go back in with a toothpick and reopen that space so that you can let that paint come out very smoothly. So I just have a little bit of something I want to clean up. So I just was messing with my bottle and you can see that I kind of got some bubbles in here. So I'm going to show you that technique I was talking about with like quickly getting this away. I'm taking just a very small paper towel and I'm smearing it away from where the mistake is. And then because I am kind of smearing it, I want to make sure that I go back with something damp and kind of get that black line back off. So here's a little bit of dampness and I'm just cleaning up that spot. So you don't have to be perfect the first time because there are ways to kind of clean it up, but you just have to be quick about it and be pretty precise to get that spot back in check. And definitely your first time with this paint, you'll be getting used to how it comes and how it moves. And then we'll see that when we add colors, you won't really notice these imperfections nearly as much as you do right now. So I've done a good job of cleaning that back up, and I'm going to carefully put it back onto my design, make sure everything is lined up accordingly again. And you could kind of see the process underneath of how far I am. And now off to the side, I'm kind of using a paper towel and making sure that I get my paint ready to come back out of the tip nice and even for me. So now I'm ready to keep outlining. And I'm just going to do an outline of this one particular flower, just for time's sake. But I would love to hear in the chat if anyone has plans to make one of these and what kind of design you want to work on. So do you want to do something floral? Are you interested in geometric? Do you have a particular surface in mind? Let me know what you're interested in. And I'm giving a good outline. And what is another nice quality of this black simulated leading is that it does dry pretty quickly and it does have a bit of a puff to it. So it gives you a really nice outline for coloring in when we get to our next portion. So having that 3D surface to keep us in the lines is really helpful. And you don't have to sit it aside for a whole day or something or wait for it to dry a lot. It really should dry within minutes and you can keep working. Now, if you find that you're not very steady with your lines or not as steady as you would like to be, there are other ways to create these lines. And as soon as I'm done with this particular stem, I'm going to talk about some of those. And I might need to pull this away from my paper, away from my stencil, so that I can make sure I didn't miss any pieces while I was going through with the outline. There we go. So I'm going to pull this paper away to see what we have. And I can see a couple of spots that I missed, so I can go back in and I can fill those in, this line right here. And if you feel like any of your lines are too thin and you want to add some thickness, this would be a good time to do that as well. And if you are very into geometric patterns and things that have more straight lines rather than curves, another option for you is this instant letting. So on this other one, where did I put it? A more traditional kind of looking stained glass painting that I had some, oh, here it is, had somewhere. I used the letting lines on this one. So you can tell that those lines are very straight and the same thickness all the way across. Because what I did was I cut pieces of these strips, and they come even smaller than what they look like right now. So you can pull these apart into even thinner lines. You can use them that thick, or you can split them apart into these really thin lines and then just lay them across in any kind of geometric pattern. And then once you've cut and pieced, it's a sticky material. So once you've placed all of those lead lines down, then you can go back and color them in with all different kinds of colors. And you can see how that gallery glass really does kind of give that stained glass look to it. It has a particular texture that kind of reminds me of some windows inside of churches and things like that, that I think is a really cool texture. You can add this leading to something three-dimensional. So it can, ooh, just scrape that across my painting. You can wrap these around and make them round in order to fit onto a jar if you want to do some glass that's three-dimensional instead. So I'm going to clean up this little bit that I did on the bottom here. And I'm going to quickly kind of take that black and swipe it away. And then I might need to go back with a little bit of moisture, but it looks like it's going to be okay. And then we are ready to start putting in some color. So another great thing about these plaid designs that they have created is that on the other side, they even give you a suggested color code. So on each one of the bottles, it says what the color is called. So for example, the green that comes in the main pack is called a Kelly green. So it's kind of like a big paint by number. And so you can decide if you want to use the same colors that they recommend or if you want to use your own colors. So I am going to use this Kelly green to fill in my stem. I think I'm going to do some yellow and probably some white. So there is a white stained glass too, and it doesn't go clear. It kind of gives up a little bit of a cloudy look to it, which I also think is fun. So I think I'm going to start with the white, and off to the side, I'm going to kind of squeeze to make sure that the paint is ready to come out of the tip nice and easy. And it is. So then I can go back here and I can carefully I like to go around the outline. And again, the tip of my applicator of my paint is not touching the glass. It's kind of hovering above it. And if you've ever done cookie decorating, this kind of feels like cookie decorating, where you fill in the majority of it and then you kind of let it do its work and kind of spread and fill in. If you need to pop any air bubbles, you can pop air bubbles. If you need to move some of the paint into the corner, you can do that either with your applicator or with a toothpick or even with a paintbrush. So speaking of a paintbrush, if I want to change up my colors a little bit, so maybe I decide I don't want to do a white petal, maybe I want to do something else, you can kind of make yourself a little paint palette. So this is actually Pallete Paper that I'm squirting some of this paint onto. And then if I take that and let's say that I take a blue and I put some of the blue in there, you can mix these together. And then you can actually use a paintbrush to apply this rather than squirting it in. So if I wanted to, I could take this blue and use my paintbrush and kind of paint it in. to get some extra color and some extra pop. And then I can keep going with the white. So if I just wanted to have a little bit of a tinge of that blue, I can put that little bit of blue in there and I can kind of mix it in with my white just to give it a little bit of a different color. So I probably should not have picked white so that you can see this better on your screen. And I am going to go back and kind of mix a little bit of blue in and just have this real fine baby blue. And I'm just using a toothpick to kind of add some of the blue color to what paint I already have. And instead of mixing it on the palette paper, you can mix it on your painting itself. Just make sure that you're going all the way through, because remember, you might want to see the other side when you're looking at stained glass for your finished. So I'm going to put a little bit of white and I'm going to leave some space to add a little bit of that blue. So I'm just putting a little bit of white. I'm not filling the whole thing, so that I have some space to add some blue to kind of give myself a nice light blue in my petals. And then I'll go back and put a little bit of blue into each one of these. There we go. And then I'll use my toothpick to kind of spread this around and make sure that I get a nice light blue color. And if you don't want to mix your own colors, remember that you can purchase different bottles of color that are already mixed for you. So there are some really pretty light blues that they make, but you can already see that you can make your own. So I kind of like that it's not going to be perfect, that I'm going to kind of leave some swirl on purpose. So you can see that petal that I'm doing right now. I'm kind of leaving some of that white on purpose to kind of make it a little bit more interesting than just having the one plain color. And I like doing that in general, using more than one color to kind of give it some more life. And I'm making sure that I'm going out to the corner of these black outlines and making sure that I'm filling in the whole spot. Now, the way that I'm holding it right now, I'm sure that I'm missing some spots, because from the perspective I'm holding this at, I can't see all of it, but that's why it's going to be important for me to change the position around and make sure that I've gotten all the spaces. So this is kind of my preliminary round of petals. And then I am going to use a green, but again, you can add in some yellow to your green to make it more of a yellow green. And you can kind of have some of that dark green and some of the yellow green together to give it a little bit more dimension and more interest. Or you can just do it green and you can just do it yellow. So that's going to be up to you. So I'm going to put this down so that I can see it a little bit better. And I'm going to make sure that I am getting it all the way to the outline. And I'm not leaving any spaces. And this petal was the first one I had, so it has a little bit of extra paint. So you can tell that I'm kind of scooping some of that and moving it to one of my petals that doesn't have as much paint. And the colors of the gallery glass are going to dry darker than what they are right now on my glass. So on this particular piece, this is what that red that comes in your pack will end up looking like. This is what your green will end up looking like. So you can tell that the colors get darker as they dry. And here on this butterfly, you can tell that those are all a little bit darker than what it might have looked like. This blue on this particular butterfly is one that comes already pre-made. So if you want this blue, you can use that one also. So I'm going to keep going with my petals. And right now I'm using the paintbrush, but the toothbrush and the paintbrush are both helping me. Toothpick and paintbrush are both helping me to make sure that I close all those gaps. The center of this, I'm going to go ahead and make a nice yellow and just fill that in. So I usually go around the black lines and then go in towards the center. And if I need to, I can spread that out, but that looks pretty good. And then I am going to just go ahead and do a round of my green. So I'm going to go along the black outline with my green. And it is okay to have kind of a heavy hand with your color and to put pretty much a pretty good helping of this gallery glass into the space. It will dry, it will kind of settle and dry down a little bit, so it won't be nearly as puffy as it is right this moment. And I'm just following these lines and filling in the space, really relaxing, like a giant coloring book, but then even more fun because you're going to have something cool to decorate a desk, to hang in a window. So the ones that I'm working on today are more like desk pieces. And like I said, what's cool about them is that they have an LED light in the bottom of them. So I love that it's almost like a night lamp kind of feeling to it. And even if you're working during the day and it's on your desk, you can kind of see some of that light come through, and hopefully it'll give you some cool reflections and shadows. And then there's also some other products that Plaid sells. I'm going to show you where if you'd rather something to be hanging, they also have different surfaces. So here's a surface where it's this acrylic piece, and then it comes with a chain, and it comes already with the holes already so that you can just attach the chain. And then this is something that with a suction cup you can hang in your window, and it can let that light through really nicely. So a lot of their products come with some various patterns and things too. So along with the online gallery, they have a couple of patterns that come inside of this. They give you some suggestions of some different colors that you might want to use. But you can tell that this is going to be a really cool thing for hanging. So I like the ones that we're making today because they're nice desk pieces. But if you want something that was going to hang, you wouldn't necessarily be able to hang this one very well because it doesn't have any holes drilled. But if you did have holes drilled already, like the one that I just showed you, then that would be easy to turn into a hanging piece. So I see a couple places I'm going to touch up with a little bit more blue. And then I'm pretty close on this one. And you're not going to get the full effect of my painting right this minute because I am going to need to wait for it to dry to kind of really give you that final faux stained glass look to it. But I will be able to show you on my Instagram, which is 4M Coleman, if you want to take a look at the pictures. You can see what the final product looks like once it's dry. So you can tell right now, this green paint is going to get a lot darker. And what's cool about the paint too is that not only does it get darker, but it gets more translucent. So right now you can't really see through this, but when it dries, you can see through it. And it is actually going to be more translucent than how it goes on to the original glass. A couple of other fun things I want to talk to you about are if you're not feeling very good and steady with your hand creating those black outlines, there are some other options. So just like that letting line I showed you before, another cool trick is that you can make your own letting lines on something like this Pallete paper or some parchment paper, some wax paper. And if you practice your lines and you just kind of go ahead and drag them out, I'm hovering this tip above the surface. I'm not dragging it on the surface. And I'm kind of letting gravity pull that paint down. And I've just made a really nice line. Now, if I let this line dry, I can peel this back up and then picture something like, in my case, it would probably be a Frappuccino bottle, but picture something glass where you can take this line and it will bend a little bit. You can take that line and you can kind of create your own stained glass outline using black lines that you create on paper and then adhere to the glass. So you can create your own letting lines and then you can transfer those letting lines onto a different surface, and they will be flexible. So you can kind of curve them and you can kind of play around with them and get just the right size. Now, I don't recall exactly how long it's going to take for this one to dry, if I'm going to be able to show you. Of course, you should let everything dry for 24 hours when you're done. So this one I'm not going to mess with. I'm not going to touch. I'm going to give it a good 24 hours to be completely dry. And I am going to scrape off some of this part down here. Got a little bit dirty when I dragged that. And actually this part is going to be okay because that's going to go back into the wooden display. So I'm not too terribly worried about that smudge. But these letting lines, let's see how it's doing. Nope, it's still pretty wet. But you can peel those off and then you can peel those off and place them. I could add them to this design. I could add some curves. I could add some background and keep going with this one. So another thing, if you have one of the funky surfaces that's not a square or not just something, if it is a cutout like the butterfly I showed you before, or I also have a flower, what I recommend doing is taking that piece of glass or acrylic surface, and if you want to create your own design, you can go ahead and take a piece of paper and you can trace the outline of this. Let me see if I have a good pen handy. And you can trace the outline and then you can create your own design. If you don't want to use one of the pre-made designs, using this exact surface that you're going to be transferring onto. So I'm going to go ahead and trace the whole entire thing, show you what I'm talking about. There we go. And then you can decide. So this is going to be a cutoff line because that part is going to get pushed back into the wood. So this part down here is going to get pushed back into the wood. So you don't want to go that far down. But then you can even fold it in half if you want to make your butterfly symmetric, and you can match up those wings. And so if you do something on one side and you want it to be the same on the other side, so maybe I decide that I want something kind of circular here, and you can match it up over here and make sure that you get the same design on that side. So in that case, I would use either, I'm reaching for a pencil is what I'm doing right now. If you can see through it, you can draw on this side. Oops, I'm just not getting a pen that's working. There we go. So I can see through it enough to get that image on this side. And then you can tell that I've already transferred that over using that thicker marker. If you want something over here, then you want to transfer that over to this side. I'm just using a real thin piece of typing paper or computer paper. And you can keep that symmetric, and you can keep going and decide how much of the design you want, how many different colors. Some of the other designs too come with, like I said, those color suggestions. So if you're not trusting yourself with some of those colors, you can use the suggested patterns and the suggested colors. But I think we're wrapping up the different techniques I wanted to go over with you today. Doing the letting lines with the black letting, letting those dry for just a minute or two, and then going back in and kind of flooding the spaces with your colors. You can mix the colors onto palette paper. So if you wanted to mix a purple from the original pack that you have, of course you can add your blue and your red together. And then you can mix those together, and you can apply this paint with a paintbrush. If you apply it with a paintbrush, make sure that you're applying plenty so that you don't necessarily see the brush strokes. So if I mix these together, I'm going to get a darker violet kind of color, almost a lavender. And then this is something that you can put into, that you can paint onto the glass surface. But again, you're going to want to make it real nice and thick so that you don't see all of your paint strokes with your paintbrush. And you can just kind of push the paint into the space and then use something like a toothpick to go through and kind of make sure that it's hit all the different corners and everything that everywhere you need it to go from there. And I just want to show you again some of the cool different surfaces that we have. So these LED bases come in a square. It comes in a round. I don't remember if I've shown you this rainbow yet or not, but you can get a nice round shape, and you can put all different kinds of things besides that rainbow or besides this butterfly on these surfaces. You can also just use a glass bottle. You can use a picture frame. You can use a piece that is purposefully done for hanging purposes so that you can hang it in a window. Or you can create one of these really awesome one-of-a-kind pieces that then go into these bases, and you can sit on a desk, you can sit by a window, and you can just really enjoy your beautiful artwork. So thank you so much for coming today, and I can't wait to see you again. So someone asked for a picture frame. What do you put behind the stained glass to make it look nice? And that's a great question. Let me see if I have something to be able to show you. So there are some picture frames like this one, that it is glass all the way through. And so there is no backing. So these are available at Michael's. They're 8x10. And they're like a floating frame. So floating frames are a good idea. If you don't have a floating frame, if you do have one that has the backing, you simply take the backing out, and then the glass piece, when it fits back into the frame, put some hot glue around it so that you can secure the glass piece to the rest of the frame, and then don't put the backing back on it so that you can be able to see through and have a nice piece. And then in that case, sometimes those frames might have a little hook or something to hang from at the top. So you don't put the backing back in, and then you can see all the way through it. So you would just put some hot glue all the way around that edge if it's not a floating frame, and adhere that glass to your frame. And then you can also use any kind of normal stands that you would for different frames too. Or obviously the kind that has this sort of stand isn't going to work anymore because you've taken this piece off, but you can still use a hook, or you can attach another hook, like one of those sawtooth hooks at the top if you have one. Great question. All right, anything else before I go? One more thing, I have a class coming up next week where, do you mind going to the other camera, please? I have a class next week coming up where we're making a flower-shaped yarn pillow using hand knitting stitches. So I'd love to teach you how to make this. I think it could also be a starfish. So if you wanted to make it one solid color, I think it would look like a cool starfish or a flower. But it's a really nice pillow. So if you've ever done some hand knitting, this would be a fun project for you to try next week. And I can't wait to see you again. I teach classes on Thursdays and Fridays, and I will love to join you. UV resin tomorrow, pillows next week. We'll make all sorts of things together. So thanks for coming. I'll see you soon.